Right, nice sunny day today, Tuesday. Just want to clarify something before I start working on these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these are 10 foot, but they're wider than 6 inch. Remember I was talking about each board being about half a cubic foot. These are more like 8 or even 9, 8.5, 9. So in my mind these were maybe, you know, a little bit more than half a cubic foot. So I could say 10, ignore these two, they were extra that I put on. 10 divided by half is 5, but they're a little more than half a cubic foot. So 5, 5.5 I was thinking, maybe 6. And then when I added these up it came to 7, it's these two. That was 10.5 inch. It's best part of a, well, a bit more than 3/4 of a cubic foot on that one, and a bit less on that one. So I was reckoning just over a cubic foot for them two, and then 5.5, maybe 6 for these. So that's what I was thinking, 7 for the lot, and I won't far off. Before I start cutting those, I need to put the end panels on here. There's a front frame going that big. On the last one I put inch split battens on and then a board on the face. This one I want closer to 3 inch on it. So if we get another 18mm on there, I want about 30mm timber on there. I've got some of that. The alcove comes to 370. We're allowed 25-30mm for skirting at the back there. That brings it to about there. So I want split battens at about 230. I don't want them hard up. I could leave them short a little bit. So maybe even 225. Right, so I want one every 300-400mm. This is nearly 2.4, so that's 4 into 2.4, it's about 6. Right, I've got a piece of 3-inch stuff here. Just going to cut it down into manageable lengths. Right, just cut it down into 1 metre pieces. I need 230 lengths, so 230. I should be able to get 4 out of each of these, that'll give me 12. Now just run it through the planer. It's quite neat anyway, but I just wanted to check that it was same dimensions all the way through, consistent thickness. And French cleats, or split battens as I call them, they don't have to be 45 degrees. You probably get a better hold with 45. But if I was to cut this at like 45, I won't have a lot of meat here to be fixing. So I'm just going to cut it about that sort of angle. That means I've got a decent piece there to fix to me boards. And I want the saw to be cutting something like through the middle, so I want the blade to be cutting through the centre there. Before I forget, just going to mark the face of each one. Then when I put them together, I can marry the two pieces up. see now I've got a bunch of pieces. It'd be quite easy to get them mixed up, you know, like that. And then that face might be, you know, cockled a little bit. But I know with the wiggly lines, don't matter which one goes with which, they should be the same. It's got a knot in. Almost got rid of it. I've got a knot there, and I know that the waste, the off-cut piece, is going to be this big. Cut that one, then cut the knot out. Took the back of bar off and might have to put another one back on. Now here I ain't got any choice. And that's fortunate. So that's 24 of them. They're all fairly clean, these are just little knots. But whenever I could, like you just saw, I tried to cut out the knots. In this case, you know, the knots don't weaken the wood, but if I hit that with a pin, there's a chance the pin will deflect off and just go somewhere other than where I want it to. So I've got 12 with the wiggly line on the long bit and 12 with the wiggly line on the short bit. I'm going to put these ones on the top like that, on like that. And I'm just going to pin them on, I think. I ain't got a lot of meat to be going into, but I don't want to be drilling all these pieces and screwing them on. These two pieces are about 48mm. So I've chosen 40mm pins, so they shouldn't come through the ply. But just to be sure, little test cut, don't do any harm. Little test piece, don't do any harm. That's on there very well. Jesus. Oh. Bit of glue. That won't be going anywhere. I'm just putting my blade back straight. And I use a square. If you've got a table like mine that's maybe just slightly dodgy or moves a little bit, then these digital things, they're no good. What's really important is when you put a wood through, does it cut it square? If your piece of wood isn't cutting square, adjust the blade accordingly. And it's the same for the fence on your planer. If it's planing square, then it doesn't matter if the measuring device that you've got tells you that it's out of square. It's what the wood comes out of the other side. I've just ripped that board down that I was using for the shelves to the width that I want, and I've sat one of these on top. And just like I did on the shelves, I'm going to work my way up. I'm leaving them just a fraction short so they don't impede me putting this front frame on. And I just want to mention my little box. One day I didn't have my steps, but when you open steps up, even the little ones take up quite a wide footprint. So screws and bits apply together and it comes in very useful. Standing on. Little work table when you need it. Right, what I've been doing is just taking the point off. And the point off this one as well. So if any dust and crap gets down in there, any glue, these still should sit down properly. I did mean to do that before I put them on. I'll cut a piece of MDF to go down there. Could use ply, but I'm going to have to scribe that to the shape of the wall with the jigsaw probably. And MDF's got less chance of the edge breaking off, you know, because this has a grain, it might just splinter off, and I want a nice neat cut. MDF should give me that. Clamps are there just to help hold it against it, but the pins should hold it. I've cut it oversized so I've got plenty to scribe back, depending on where I put this cabinet in the cupboard, in the alcove. And tomorrow when the glue's dry, I'll take those clamps off and start fitting framework around it. Once the framework's on, and think about the doors. I'm just going through what I bought. These big ones here are quite straight. These ones, they're not wide enough for me to get two door styles out of. So what I've done is stood up the pieces that I've got that are wide enough to get two out. That's a bit short, that one. Gets a little bit narrow in the middle there, but it's not bad. It's got a slight kink at that end. But what I need to do is pick 5 of these for the doors, for the door styles. So what I'll do is write a little D on the end of each of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 5, so I'll pick 6. You know, just in case. Then I can start cutting the framework out of the rest. And there'll be offcuts off the end of here that I can make the rails for the doors. And as you saw, it's 13 miles just to go get one of these planks, so I bought more than enough. So those ones for the doors, D's on the end, look, squirreled them away, and that's about as flat a thing as I've got, so they should be safe in there for a while. And on the back I brought all the rest. So now I can drag these off and cut them as I wish.